Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Headspace Podcast. And today we're going to be talking about the Flatbush Zombies project now more than ever. My name is Holden Stephan Roy.
My name is Chris Chrome. I'm sorry, guys. This is like the first time we do this, and we're trying this, and I'm having the most fun blast time of my life. So if you just notice me laughing or making faces, it's because
It's because we're doing this remotely, and it's different. Anyway,
It's so
so
fun.
what we do here is we take the albums like the Flatbush Zombies now more than ever, and we talk about them track by track. We used to do this in my little apartment over here, but then a certain thing transpired, and it would be real
Corona.
bait. It would be real bait with the current legal laws to actually have anybody here on camera doing a thing. So in the spirit of remoteness, we is doing it and trying it out like this. So here we are. If there's delays on any of the videos and audios and all this is new for us. It's an experiment, and if it works, who knows? Maybe Chris never comes here again. Anyway,
I'm not really mad about that, to be honest. Like, we've been getting some good things out. I feel a little bit more comfortable just doing some reviews at home, like instead of having to walk around and like go out or shit.
I mean, I just like work from home life. I know.
Yeah.
I don't think I have to go back to the office place again.
I told my boss,
I'm
I was
okay with
like,
that.
I'm never coming back. Even the one day per month meetings I need to go to, he's like, we'll find a way to do it over online. I was like, thank you.
I mean, I'd go in for those meetings because it's nice, like, to go in once a month.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
like, I don't want to go in. Anyway, before we get into it, I'm doing the beginning podcast self-plug promo time. I released a new track on May 13th. You can catch all that below. Follow me on Spotify, please. I need your help. And, yo, we do the musics. We got some stuff coming soon, and that's basically it. We're going to be releasing music more regularly moving forward. And on top of that, if you do like what we do with this bigger deep dive approach that's not a reaction video, it's just a different thing altogether. If this is something you feel, go ahead and check out that Patreon and show some love like that, or let us know in the comments what you think. We're happy to have conversations. On that note, we do like to start out each of the episodes describing why we chose to do these albums, because it answers that question, why we chose to do the Flatbush Zombies now more than ever project. I'll be real with you. I fucking love Flatbush Zombies.
Yep.
I found out they had an album that came out because of Miles B, who commented on our RTJ4 review. And I said, well, that's dandy. And then both Chris and I wanted to review it, which forced us to have to rely on technology. And I don't know, we've done what? Like their album that came out in 2017, Vacation in Hell.
I think that's last year, I know.
No, last year was the Beast Coast review. So we did that also, and both of those projects I really enjoyed.
Vacation in Hell was 2018.
Sure, that was still in the past. Anyway, but I really like them. I like them a lot. I think they got a style that's pretty cool. Like they clearly know how to rap. They understand how to put bars together. And I think as far as the idea of there's not a lot of interesting in terms of new hip hop, these guys prove a lot of motherfuckers wrong. They've been I've been pointing people at Flatbush Zombies for years now, because since I first heard them, I really believe that they are one of the more innovative and interesting musical acts to come out in the last long while.
I do agree.
Definitely my favorite part of the different people involved in like Beast Coast. Like I like them more than Pro Era. I like them more than all those other collectives, because I just think they have such a style to what they bring to the table. Plus, they have Michi Darko, and I mean, what else can I have to say? That guy's voice is like one of the greatest things to happen to music.
Not just his voice
Facts.
alone, but like just the way that he is able to change his voice, change the tones, and just use different types of let's call it voices and like vocal characters to really give off these presentations that are just really absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought it was worth starting that out. Chris, what about you? I assume you're also a Flatbush Zombies fan.
So I am a Flatbush Zombies fan. Vacation in Hell was the first project I sat down and really reviewed with you. Then we did, like you said, the Beast Coast album, which I like that just because it had, like, I like Pro Era, I like Underachievers, I like just the kind of groups that they were picked. So that was more like I think we said on the review, it was like a super group album. So I really did appreciate that. But as Flatbush Zombies themselves, there's something that really drew my eye and my attention to this project. I didn't know they were coming out. I literally woke up Friday morning and I was having some like work from home issues, so I had more time to really kind of look at certain stuff. And then I noticed they dropped this project, and just even the title, now more than ever, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now and just like the big thing that we're kind of fighting, I was like, yeah, we have to do this. Like, just as hip hop people who love hip hop, just as people who, you know, follow that culture, follow everything that they're doing, I think that this is an album that we have to review, especially with that title. Not to like.
Can we just stop for a second? I don't know if you knew this, but I just checked on Genius. Just to add to what you're saying, all the money that's gonna get made,
It's a charity
on this,
album, yeah.
all the merch, yeah, all the merchandise money is going straight to the Black Lives Matter movement.
Absolutely.
So I just think it really adds a lot of credence to the idea that, look, we can use our platform now more than ever to create something that can do something positive.
Well,
And
actually,
that's really, really fresh.
I don't know if you have anything else to say in terms of intro. You want to just kind of jump into the album and the title, because I've already
I
started.
mean, we're talking about the title.
Cool. So,
Keep-
well, the title is self-explanatory now more than ever. If you're basically aware of what the fuck's happening in the world, it's like, boom, you should know what they're talking about. But when I was looking through the album cover, I found a picture on Google and I sent it to you by email. It's the cover of the album, but it looks like it's actually when you kind of outsize it, it's actually a hand, and then you see it's like the hand, and I would assume it's a black hand.
No,
and
I can
would
see it over there. I can see it on Genius, what you're describing.
Right. So I actually think that was super cool how they turned their album cover. Like specifically, the album cover is just the face, and you see like the Cupid angel, and kind of looks like it's being played like a puppet. You've got kind of like this grim little skull type of teeth looking, kind of like symbolizing death. You can see the eyes kind of look like rolled back a little bit, kind of like rest in peace.
Chris, you do these fucking cover reviews like 87,000 times better than I.
Dude,
I'm fucking lazy
it's
by
like
comparison.
It's like, well, there's something, and again, I think it's because for the last, and it's not about what's happening in the world, but for the last like 48 hours, last week, I've actually been talking to a lot of my friends from the Black community and really trying to learn about what's happening and what's going on. Something that
Chris.
Well, hold on.
Are you going to the protest tomorrow?
Relax, I have stuff to do and maybe I'll show up. But listen, the thing is,
10 a.m. Barry Ucam. Let's go, Chris.
The thing is that something I do want to just kind of bring up is that I myself, as also dealing with being half black and half white, that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm trying to find all the information I can and really understand what the struggle is and really understand some things that maybe I just wasn't taught growing up. And that's no hate on my dad or nothing. It's just, that's just how my life is. So that's why I am, and I'm just giving context to why I'm really looking into this photo, because there's so much to it. I wanted to say rest in peace to George Floyd, just because the way that the eyes on the album cover kind of look like they're rolling back, I kind of picture somebody losing their breath and like really just losing that soul in them. There's just so much to this album cover, and I really like how they made it into a poster for this movement. I thought that was super artistic, super cool. Yeah, no, that's really just it. And just with the name now more than ever, it's like there's it's not just like we need this now more than ever, or now is the time. It's like really okay, so I'm going to say this repeatedly during the album review, and we'll definitely get into it, but part of this, I think, is not just for the black listeners. I think this is for the white listeners who listen to Flatbush Zombies to kind of understand why this is important now more than ever. Why we need to actually, like, we get you guys follow us as white people. We get you guys follow us. But you need to understand what is really fucking happening. And if you listen to us, you're going to actually listen to what we're saying. That's the passion, all I have to say about that.
No, I mean, it's straight up. That's why I asked about the protest, because it's something we can do. I mean, on my end, I'm going through my own paths of discovery. I'm trying to get connected more with some of the hip-hop leaders in Montreal. I want to look into doing what we can to organize intelligently. There are a lot to learn. There's a lot of different things out there, and I think the one thing I'm trying my best to attack is this narrative that as white folk, we should stay silent. And I think that's also part of it. Now more than ever, we have to stand up. I mean, the fact that Logan Paul almost put it best when he's like, you know, it's not enough to not be racist. You have to be anti-racist. I mean, yes, that Logan Paul. While Jake Paul's fucking around, Logan Paul was actually doing some real good that nobody really talked about much. It's to the end, since we're talking about this, I reached out to Justin Hunt, the fucking company man,
Nice.
and asked him what's up about what we can do. And he's just like, basically be yourself, be anti-racism, fight racism wherever you can find it. So in light of that, like, I mean, I'm with you on that. If you're white, like me, go and ask people that are black what you can do and how you can help. Don't just listen to the rhetoric of anxiety preached by white people, because that's something I'm seeing a lot of, is this whatever. I mean, honestly, the debate's not the same. There's not a same debate. There's two debates. There's the white people debate, and then there's the everyone else debate. And I think it's like, people, we need to bridge that gap of understanding. And here's the thing, there's a lot of ignorance out there, like a lot of ignorant people, and this ostracization, unfriending, blocking mentality does little to actually educate the people, right?
Right.
So being anti-racism isn't just blocking fuckers and pretending they don't exist and basically behaving how we behaved for the last decade, right? That's how social media has been. Oh, that's uncomfortable. Fuck you, it doesn't exist.
I want to ask
So,
you just an objective question.
to be anti-racist would be, in my opinion, commenting. If you see somebody make a not funny joke, don't unfriend them. Comment on their damn unfunny joke. You see it again? Comment again. That's how you make some kind of changes a little bit more than unfriending and blocking. So these are just little things I think we can all look for. These opportunities and identities to speak up and not be silent and identify the behaviors that create silence. Anyway, I just wanted to add before we move on, I asked Mr. Hunt what you should read if you want to like learn more, and he recommends anything by Ta-Nehisi Coates, Malcolm Gladwell, Seth Godin, and the novel The Spook Who Sat by the Door. Sorry if that word offends people. I'm just quoting the name of the book so you can Google it. And I just thought it was really cool that the man answered my question. And this was on June 4th, right? So
2 days ago.
6. So this was, when we're recording this. So I just feel like you can reach out to anyone, really. If like this guy who's much more successful than I am on the internet was willing to take the time to answer me on fucking Twitter, right? Then, you know, there's a lot of people out there that would be willing if you are feeling ignorant, because that's something else. So here's a little anecdote. I know this isn't maybe related to the review, but I think it kind of is in light of everything Chris said and the purpose of this album, and kind of how to be an ally is something that I think is really important. So you can skip ahead. You'll see timestamps when we start talking about the song. At work, we were wondering what we could do, a couple of us. And this isn't meant to showboat. It's meant to try to give an example of how you can maybe do some shit. So my company, for some reason, chose to stay silent and to this moment has not addressed the issue. Why? I don't know. We can give a lot of corporate answers for that. Either way, a few of us felt this was inappropriate, so we've now crafted a message and forwarded it to HR and said we believe the company should say this, and HR is going to go meet with the big bosses. And will this make the change happen for the company to say something? I don't know. I don't think so, to be honest with you. But at least the big bosses now know that there are people inside who feel that passionately about it. At least now they know that there might be consequences within. And trust me, if the bosses say no, the follow-up is me to send personal emails to each of these corporate executives and explaining how, A, this is a Montreal problem as much as it's a global problem, the systemic issues that we're all against. And B, how are you going to stay silent? Is your stock price worth more than human lives? For real? Is that your priority? That your stock price is worth more than human lives?
Right.
Maybe if we had these uncomfortable questions with our management teams and had this feedback forwarded up, in our places of privilege and position in life, we could instigate different types of change. More companies could be Ben and Jerry's, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
More companies could be standing out. And here's the thing, it's all of us little plebs, we don't count for shit. It's when the millionaires start talking that we're going to really start seeing some shit happen. We can make the millionaires talk. And I think that should be something interesting that we focus on. And So a Flatbush galvanizes the people, and then the people galvanize the rich people, and then the rich people galvanize the politicians via lobbying efforts, then maybe we can see some social change. I guess that's just one path forward that we could look into that could be realistic of how people in positions of privilege can use that privilege to instigate change in our area of field and lit life, okay? I say this as a middle class office worker, right? I work for a software company. I don't have the same existence as, let's say, the hood. And I'm not trying to be racist or anything like that. I'm just trying to be very honest about my life situation and experiences. I have first name personal access to a guy worth 9 figures. Shouldn't I be using my privilege to maybe try to use his privilege to make some change happen? Like, you see what I'm saying? That's how I'm thinking about this. Maybe I'm wrong. Y'all can let me know in the comments what you think about anything that we're saying here. But I want to see change happen at a very top level situation. Anyway.
I have just two final things to say, and then if you want to comment, fine, we can move on from this. But the first thing is, I do truly believe that for anybody listening or anybody watching this, honestly, the best thing you can do is really just, for myself, I think, is stand up for what you believe in. You were talking about your company and how, like, you were kind of dealing with that. Me, myself, I'm also kind of secluded to my own little world a little bit, so I may not really know if my company is speaking out upon this or whatnot, but what I will tell you is that as somebody who works for my company, I strongly believe in racism is bad, very, very bad, and any client that I deal with or any customer or any type of thing that has any racist experience, it happened to me this week, I no longer care about my job or anything like that. I speak out on what's really right. I was dealing with an experience where somebody was making mention of just the coronavirus and how, like, they were blaming China and stuff, and really made a comment about how, like, Trudeau shouldn't be letting them come here. And I was just like, that's not something I will put up with. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, I don't care if this is a company. I don't care if this is my job and I'm supposed to listen to you bitch and complain about whatever. There is certain lines that I myself as a human am not going to let other people cross. And I will put anything before that because my beliefs in changing the world are a lot stronger than, call it a paycheck, call it whatever I need to survive, because I can get another job. I can't let this racist comment or let this racist mentality continue going on. That's my first point on how I believe in it. Second,
What does the company say when they QA you? Tell it a racist to fuck off.
I don't know. I'll let you know next week when it happens. I'll let you, like, it literally happened. Like,
I would love to know what happened with that.
I will literally let you know what my boss tells me. Quite frankly, I think because as much as I do know my company, we are like a leading head in diversity and stuff like that. And we hire a bunch of multiculturals and stuff like that and blah, 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 blah. So I think part of them are going to be like, slap on the wrist, don't do that. But at the same time, they're like, you know, we're proud of you. Like, good job. You know, like, we support.
I hope so.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I will fight for what I believe in. And honestly, I don't think right now, I'm going to say this on camera. If you're going to fire me for standing up for a racist thing, I don't think that's a war you want to fight right now in today's climate. So I'll take my chances.
Don't worry, Chris. We will set you up with people who will tell you how to not fuck that up if it happens to you.
Like, yo, I'm just saying, like, things are fucking difficult, and we need to start speaking up, and things need to be changed willingly, forcibly, and whatever the consequences are. That's something I've been really.
So I'll see you at Barry UCAM at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Oh my God, yes. Okay, I'll see you at Barry UCAM at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Oh my God.
Yeah, wear a mask. If you need a mask, let me know. We'll bring you a mask.
Okay, fine. I had another point though. Anyway, continue, and if my point comes back, I will.
I don't know if there's a lot more to add here. We could just do the whole podcast on this topic, but let's move into talking about a very different subject. It's a little.
Okay, no, quick.
We back at it. Back at it.
You asked. So you spoke to Justin Hunt, right? And you were saying like, you
briefly messaged.
Yeah. Okay, cool. You said that. But what I'm saying is, it's interesting how in times like right now, the most important conversation is Black Lives Matter, police brutality, all these things that are important, right? When you go and address somebody who has that motive, that's like their movement, that's who they represent, they will tend to start talking to you again. They will respond to you. They will show their interest. And I found it really cool how, like, you know, there's a lot of people, and we'll get into this part of the album too, call it haters, call it people who are like, oh, fuck rich people, they don't really care, no. It made me kind of think quickly, like, do they not care, or do you not care about what they care about? Because
I don't know where you're going with that.
It was just something that kind of popped in my head, because I was like, you know, you messaged Justin Hunt about something that is a fucking...
I don't think Justin Hunt is rich.
No, but he's somebody that is, like...
I think he lives off of art, but rich?
Fair.
That's a strong...
But can you kind of see what I'm saying in terms if you were maybe talking...
I do think that people put an unfair expectation on rich people because, just because I made $1 million does not mean I have $1 million to donate. It means I made $1 million. Mm-hmm. That's supposed to last X period of time. It's supposed to be so that I can pay more taxes and not have to depend on, like, you know, social services to get by. Right. It's to make sure that because what's the good of me making $1 million and then I donate it all and I'm on welfare later on in life, you know? And people act like that doesn't happen, but they also don't understand how little $1 million is. I mean, it sounds real big if you have no money, but the second you start employing people, which, like, even myself, I make X amount, but every year I'm now giving $3,000 to my sound engineer. It's like a salary cost. Mm-hmm. That means I make $3,000 less dollars. That means every month my paycheck is cut by that much for that I have to pay him as a minimum. Right. So it's just like when you add in the amount of people required to keep rich people rich, I mean, it's just $20,000 isn't what you think it is, kind of thing. Like, anyway, I'm not trying to justify that rich people can't do more. In fact, you heard me rally against the stock prices over human lives just before. Yep. But I do think that people have a very weird understanding of what rich is, what it means, and they compare it to their salary, and they don't understand liquidity versus assets versus all sorts of crap, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot to be said about what rich people are supposed to do. But when rich people talk, they get told to shut up. And when rich people don't talk, they get told to speak. And all I can tell you is being rich is not a reality most of us have had. So we should all maybe worry about we should tell them what behaviors we want from them. But we don't know enough to judge everybody at a micro level. All I know is when we do see rich people doing shit, it's weird that it's like, then it becomes like a witch hunt. Yeah. And again, I don't know what the right answer is, but I'm saying that if I'm a rich person right now with a lot of money, I'm taking 10 times the consideration before I say or do something, because no matter what I say or do, it's going to be scrutinized and I'm going to be told it's wrong. And so it's a complicated world we live in. Anyway, you know it's not complicated.
Flatbush Zombies.
Some green shit on. Lighting some green shit on fire. What green shit, you may ask? Herb. All right, Chris, tell us about herb.
So, right off the bat, with everything we were explaining and kind of getting into with just how I think this album is being presented and kind of how they're trying to teach us certain things, herb is a really good introduction to this project. I like how right off you get these 3 different types of people. What I felt was Zombie Juice, Arc Elliott, and Michi Darko are playing 3 different types of people who come from, I guess, the hood, the areas that they live in, and kind of representing and speaking out for people, again, with that idea of trying to teach people what's really happening in these areas and what's really going on, with a very unique way, of course, of doing it for everybody. We start off with the chorus of Zombie Juice. Nice little interpolation of Blueberry Yum Yum from Ludacris. Get the lighter, roll the sticky, let's get high, let's get high. I smoked the finest, saved the shit from the other guys. The highest in the building, them homies liars. What's in your stash? What's in your bag? Yeah, what's your type? What I did like, though, is they're also kind of showing you how they are... they have that Bone Thugs type of flow, that like quick little the way they kind of spit it. Zombie Juice.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I think my biggest beef with this track, because here's the thing, it's a really well executed weed song, but the biggest thing that kept going through my head is Crazy Bone did it better, or Bone Thugs did it better, you know? Because I was like, we're in the middle of like Thug Mentality, and I'm thinking like Bud Smokers Only, or just different tracks like that, and you're like.
But I think it also...
There's not a lot new to bring to the weed song, is about where I'm at with it.
I think I've heard you say something to me once that, like, it's really hard to make a new type of weed song because we've kind of all heard it before, right? But what I do
Yep.
think this is doing is it's showing you that these are historical weed lines. These are rappers who in the game who have said this and paved this way. Like, get the lighter, roll the sticky, let's get high. That's Luda. Like,
So I can appreciate the idea of paying homage to another weed song in this weed song.
well, not just
But
that.
when you get to the verse, right? Okay, post chorus. If she with me, then you know she a rider. That Mary with me, so you know I stay on fire. Anywhere I don't care, I'm gonna light it. Boring. Okay, let me be clear. We're talking about just the lyrics here. The delivery is real nice, right?
Right.
So the way he's singing it with the airiness and floating on the beat, it's nice, but it's generically nice. And unfortunately doesn't pop off at me like as something that's like outstanding. There are just better versions of this out there.
So now
The beat is my favorite part of this track. I
Right.
think the beat is actually where this song shines the most. And Michi at the end, his verse is just banging. We'll get to that. But I actually really didn't like Zombie Juice's verse. I thought it was just cheap. It was a cheap little like a stand-up comic who does obvious one-lines. And they're just not that funny when you listen to it 5 times in a row. Because I decided, you know what? I'm going to keep listening to this song. Maybe I'm not getting it. And then the more I listen to it, the less I like this verse.
See, me, I had the opposite. I kind of took Zombie Juice's verse as like, this is kind of why we do these things. We're suffering from PTSD. We smoke weed to kind of cope with our problems. This is part of the environment and the atmosphere that we live in. This is kind of what the hood is kind of like, and he's
I don't
showing.
get at all a PTSD vibe
So no.
from his verse.
So again, like I said, I'm looking at this with this song. I'm looking at it as Juice is one person from the hood, Eric is another person, and
I totally
Right.
heard what you
So
said.
when I look
I'm
at
not
Juice-
even disputing
when I
that. I'm saying I hear Zombie Juice dropping corny lines. Like, I love pussy like Young M.A. That's not a good bar.
But Young M.A.
I'm
is also
sorry.
she's also a very solidified person in the game, though, just in terms of who she is and what she's done for hip hop. And
But
like
I
that.
suppose what I'm saying is I think cheap name drops aren't good bars. These aren't like super fucking clever ones. That's not a clever bar. There's no real significance to it. It was just an excuse to say that Young M.A. is a lesbian, right? That's the only reason this line exists. It's not like there's some insight about her talent or anything. He's saying she eats pussy, I eat pussy. Okay, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
I love weed like Snoop. Wow. Ain't ever heard that one before. She called me a dog, get it? Because Snoop is a dog.
Yeah.
But I don't sweat him like Keith, no. Now, I like the don't sweat him like Keith line because that line actually felt a little more like homage paying. Like, kind of to a great moment in, like hip hop history. I don't remember the exact track, but I know what you know what I'm talking about.
Right,
Don't
right.
sweat him, Keith line, like whatever. Nope, money on my mind, hot acid by the leader, shoddy in a thong, and she walk like she Lita, like fucking wrestling Lita, like really? I don't know that anything
Well,
said
Lita
there.
kind of sounds like leader, like she the leader. So she walk
But
around
did
like she
Lita
Lita.
walk around?
No, but say Lita.
Because Lita is badass.
Yeah,
I
Lita's
guess.
badass,
Okay.
and Lita also sounds like leader, but leader with an A. So Lita.
I'm just saying this isn't great.
I'm not.
It's
not
average.
It's not.
It's so
greatest.
average.
It's lyrically, it's not the greatest, and I'm not.
So
I'm not gonna
average.
dispute that. But I think that
His delivery
presentation-
is fantastic.
the present.
So like the way he says like the SNOOP line, the way he says it,
Yeah.
real nice.
Yeah.
The actual things he's saying is kind of okay. That's all I'm saying. The lyrics are not great.
I
Like,
think my last name is Khalifa.
okay, way to write generic line of the fucking year.
So
Like, that is a bar I've heard in other rap songs.
Yes, we have.
So that's not cool.
Like
That's no
we also
longer cool.
quoted it on I remember I said it and I was like, oh, I like the fact that Wiz Khalifa's not becoming a thing. And you're like, no, I've seen this before. Like it's on, we have it recorded somewhere.
I like white wine before I digs into a freak. You get yours, I get mines. Then repeat. Pussy so good, I had to throw it in a freezer.
Yeah.
And my weed so good got me feeling like I need ya.
Come on, he's like interpolating when the weekend was like, wrap it up and save it for later. He's deep freezing it. He's making sure it's. So as we continue on to the chorus, so get the letter.
It's a very strange choice for the fucking protest album.
Well, no, but
to start it with.
So I'm gonna try to give.
No, okay. Before y'all come at me, I know what I just said is not really a representation of what's fair. It's not a protest album. It's an album that they're using their platform to raise money for. Fair.
Well, hold on.
That's like the least generic fucking. That verse is my least favorite verse I've heard from.
But now think of, and this is what I defend it with. Think of this verse representing this type of person in the hood whose life is literally just that. Like, it's just.
I've heard better versions of people satirizing this shit before. Listen, it doesn't make up for the fact that these bars aren't great. Again, his delivery is fucking wonderful, and I would listen to it. I just don't think the bars are that good. And then when you get into Eric's shit, hey, clutch the world with such a grip, you know my strength. No, I feel like I'm way over my head. I could do this every day without a care, but a couple grams, came prepared. At least that kind of has like a bit of a flow to it. It does still come off a little generic, a little not whatnot, but it doesn't come off so cheap as the name dropping in the last verse.
Right.
So this just kind of comes off like here's the thing. I started thinking about this kind of stuff like this. When I listen to these bars and I were to give them to you and just like, could anybody have written them? Yeah. They're not actually that distinct. But the way they deliver them, the way they make them sound as they say them, I really enjoy this verse. I feel like the song picks up as we get to Eric's verse, is all I'm saying. I don't know. But as I like go through it and I'm looking at it, it's just more of a keep it real. That's like the point of his verse. I like when he goes, gotta be humble because you could be God. That's a cool bar. Doesn't matter how many times people say that. In fact, if everybody said that in every track, that's a good thing.
Right.
Because at least the message is there. Gotta be comfortable being a star. But I'm alone with the mob. Problem gets solved. What we do in a war, merge through the fog. So it's like, you get this sense right there. That's not how he ends it. I'm like, we're going to be pure in who we are. We're going to represent the strength of what we have to do.
But like that,
it feels like the tone is good. So yes, even if you're right and it's showing different attitudes and perspectives of the hood, I just don't get where Zombie Juices is. It just felt cheap versus Eric.
I mean, I think that's so. I agree with you in terms of lyrics and everything. I think that when I put him in the category of, I can kind of like just picture that person. Forget where you're from. Just that person who's just very that simple. All I want to kind of do is just smoke some weed, be like cool rappers, eat some pussy, and just that's kind of just my life. You know what I mean?
Dude, I completely get it. And I'm saying it doesn't make up for the bad bars.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I like it. Like, even if the bars are bad, I think that's part of the whole persona as well. Like, the bars are... Because I'm not going to sit here and be like, yo, Zombie Juice doesn't have, like, good bars. There's other tracks that he's got some, like, good bars.
You're right. And Zombie Juice has great bars on other tracks. He has trash bars on this track.
Yeah, fine.
That's my statement.
Following with verse 2.
I think, in fact, you should be able to say, on this track, Zombie Juice, I'm not certain that your bars are there. Especially with when you look at what he does with When I'm Gone. So, like, on this very album, we're going to get some good bars from him.
But I think that's fair to say about anybody. I think that's fair to say about anybody. Like, even if somebody who does a solo album...
Show me when Killer Mike's dropping shit bars.
That's like me saying, show me when Kendrick's dropping shit bars. That's like picking people who... Wow.
I can.
Wow.
Kendrick has a lot of bad pop features. There was a period where Kendrick just did a lot of bad verses that really I felt were off-brand personally for what I liked about him in the first place, to a point where I don't think if Kendrick drops now, his image is in the same place it was when he released Damn. I think he has managed to actually hurt his career in terms of becoming more of a pop star than an underground legend.
Interesting.
I might be wrong, and I'm certain, but Kendrick is the kind of artist that could also just shut me the fuck up and drop the art project of art projects next. He could.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that won't happen. I'm saying that what he's done since Damn isn't that interesting to me.
Fair enough. I like verse 2 with Eric the architect, just because of the
Yeah,
fact that like
it's a great verse.
it also, for me, again, it represents that person who's like in the hoods, in the ghettos, in the projects, and they're having, instead of what zombie kind of wants to do, this person seems to be a little bit more like, we're gonna grind, we're gonna get out of this, we're gonna work together, fight for what we believe in. I like how at the end he goes, and I'm alone with the mob. Problem got solved. What do we do in the war? We emerge through the fog. It's like
Yeah, it's powerful.
I already just picture the protest, just the movement, people coming out onto the streets. And yes, maybe not, there's not literal fog, but the fog of racism, the fog of negativity, the fog of just this
Ignorance.
the fog of ignorance, just this metaphorical fog that is blinding a lot of what we live in. And that's what I think they're trying to express here, which I thought was really super cool. Now, I also kind of see Eric as being that type of rapper, though, who's a little bit more conscious compared to the other two, I find, in Flatbush.
Well, I think Michi comes through with a really powerful verse here.
Absolutely.
Nothing's more creative than a hater's imagination.
Absolutely.
Honestly, that is one of the best lines of criticizing haters I've heard.
Yep.
Because it's pointing out that, like, at the end of the day, your haters are going to do that. When you think about your experience with haters, it's actually pretty true. The most dangerous animal on the planet is two-legged. Again, pretty profoundly insightful. Cosmic retribution, baby karma gonna get you. Reality, a marvelous illusion, the simulation. Plus, he's just got the voice.
Yep.
Nothing's more creative. Like, that voice. And you're just like, oh, Michi, you the best one in his group, to me at least. Anyway, I feel like this verse is amazing. Like, his lyrics bring truth, man. He's got the mental gymnastics to pull some generic ass Matrix bars, but I'm okay with that because of nostalgia, and it really fits into the idea with Matrix playing into a theme of karmic behaviors and actions and choices and shit. So there is more to it than just the obviousness of the Matrix dodging bullets lines. There's like something to the philosophy behind what drove the Matrix. Karma can conquer any complication. Look, confrontation means Satan have conversations since God ain't answered me lately. I'm just saying intoxication so far from home, my problem's still waiting. And then just that part there where he has like that struggle, right? Where he's trying to do good, but there's this struggle because it feels like God's not around, so he's caught up in the temptations of the world, etc. And then he just doesn't feel proper in the wings, so he ends up just smoking pot to get by. And it kind of gives you a real sense for his mental state and where the fuck he's at with things. And I feel like you get this super personal side out of Michi. It is my favorite verse on this. The chorus, though, is nice. It kind of ties it all together. And I agree with you in the sense that we're being given three different perspectives from these men in each track. And it is each of their different things.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't like the first verse that much.
No, fair enough. I liked everything you said about Michi. Darko's verse was on point with how I feel. Part of me also kind of thinks that Michi Darko's, the personality he's playing, is somebody from, again, the areas that we're talking about, but who's dealing with like severe depression, severe PTSD, severe darkness, and
I just don't think they're playing characters.
No, I'm not.
I think they're being themselves.
I understand that they're being themselves. I'm saying, I think that the way I kind of interpret it is I already know that they're being themselves, but I think, again, in terms of trying to teach people about how the culture is and what they kind of go through, maybe as like,
I'm gonna be real, I see zero efforts to teach anybody about the culture in this track.
Not like I don't say it in terms of like, oh, they're saying shit. I'm saying, like, when I listened to this song, I sat back and I was like, shit, like, if I was somebody who didn't do hip hop reviews and already kind of had an image of what it was like from all the rappers we've heard, I still kind of sat back and was like, wow, like, people really go through this in the hood. Like, people really deal with this type of lifestyle from these three type of guys. I know this because I have listened to other artists. I have listened to many other music. So I am aware of kind of how this shit goes. But in terms of just the way they're presenting it, I kind of saw it that way. Like, they're trying to show people like, yo, we really are fucked with where we're coming from. Like, this is just, we want you to not only be personal with us, but really just understand it.
So I agree with the sense of them saying we are really fucked from where we're coming from, and maybe these are, but not on this track. I don't see it on this track. Like, the chorus is we get high to deal with our problems, and then Zombie Juice presents like this, like, again, this attitude about I get fucked up, whatever, go away. Eric kind of has more of a pensive, conscious take on it. Basically, still, I get high and I find God and I stay humble. And then Michi's like, my life is kind of complicated and hard, and so I get high. And anyway, I don't care. I'm gonna light it. I'm just not seeing the culture shit. I'm not seeing it. I'm just not. I'm not saying you're wrong.
No,
Maybe
fair enough.
everyone else watching this review is like, come on, Holden. It's so fucking obvious, you idiot. And you guys could all be right. I just don't see it. I see this as a pretty decent track with one verse I think kind of is trash. So 4.25 on 5.
I gave it a 4.5 on 5. I thought it was a great start to the
Anyway.
project.
I like the I Am Legend a lot more. So this one has a pretty creative music video where they kind of chop the screen up into like 4, and then they basically show footage of the guys alone. So they can. Why I say that is because it's a creative way to do something interesting in isolation when you can't actually make the music video. And then they cut in some like pornographic footage and a couple of other things into it. Like there's a scene with a gun at one point, and I thought it was cool. So like it was an interesting music video. Would I watch it again? No, because most music videos aren't that good to me. But just like by contrast, right? Like just how this song starts. You have Michi Darko. Yes, I'm biased, but don't sip lean. Fuck that drank stuff. I was po enough. I thought that's just such a strong line. Because, right, like, first of all, it has the sentence of be better.
Yep.
I don't do that. And then when I was po enough, that's cool because he was pouring enough of the shit, but he was poor enough because of the money that you put into the shit. And I say that because, like, I was literally watching a dude today on Montreal's Instagram stories, one of the rapper friends that I know, pouring lean into his cup and then being like studio vibes and going to do his thing. And I'm like, man, right there in the stories, eh? Right there. Just there's your promethazine, and there you are pouring it into your Faygo, and there you are pouring it into your Sprite. And it looked real tacky. Like, really, like, dude, not cool. Now, I understand that a lot of people like their lean, but I don't get it. Why you'd promote it like that in this day and age, knowing how disastrous it really is.
I feel
If you have
like
your addictions, go do your thing. But to promote it, make it part of your image like that is lame.
I feel
That's lame
like
sauce to me.
I feel like the conversation of lean it's just more of a glorified thing and then becomes an addiction. Like I've heard a lot, like sipping lean was done way back in the South too, before it even became popular as well. Many like rappers from the South used to talk about sipping lean and purple drink and shit like that.
But
So-
then they all started dying.
No, I'm not
and we all
saying
started
that.
seeing how
I'm
bad
not,
it was.
I'm not disputing that. That's
So
not
I
my
just
point.
want to add to the conversation that those rappers who were really into the culture didn't have the evidence and knowledge we have today of the disastrous impact of a lean addiction.
No, of course, I agree with you 100%. What I'm saying, what at least what I'm trying to get across is that I think that every time we're talking about lean, every time there's a video about lean or something, it's tacky because it's like there's no
It's just
reason. I don't feel like there's any reason for anybody to be drinking lean right now.
I mean, there's lots of reason to be doing it. I don't see how you're still going to be putting out the message that you need to go sip your lean and just to promote that. I don't know why you do that. If you're a father too, because he is a father, this guy. I'm like, you have a kid, man. What message are you putting out? Is that what you see hip hop as? Anyway. So I like how it starts off strong. Just the way, also that Poe enough line, the way he delivered it was real well to play on the double entendre. Just imagine the power struggle when you ain't got no plug. I only want the best, but they treat me like the worst. Shit, I do deserve the best. I came up from the dirt. I don't talk much, but I raised the quota. I done had chicks cross every border.
I like that line
Just a rap.
actually. I like that line.
Go ahead.
Just imagine the power struggle when you ain't got no plug. Now that could also be interpreted of like you ain't got no plug to give you like your narcotics or whatever to make a flip to make a dime. But also if you think about it, no plug, like no actual outlet. Imagine the power struggle having to use candles, having no actual electricity.
Oh, I
He's
didn't
got
even
no
catch
plug.
that.
Everything he's
But
got,
also
maybe be battery.
in the music industry, the connections in life, it's so broad.
Yep.
But also plays on the hood line.
Yep.
Anyway, but you just look at his desire to through quality to go up, and then he starts seeing the results, and then he uses that just to ride slightly tight vagina on this anaconda. This will heighten highs. I mean, that's a very corny bar in the middle of this, but I feel like it's done in a way to almost break the tension of the stuff he's saying. before he gets back into it.
Well,
Bloodshot, your eyes and sank him lower. The lies are more entertaining. Truth is less profitable for us. So in a sense, it's like, yeah, I use the sex bar, but hey, look, it's that veneer that comes through, and it adds like this deeper level of intelligence to it, and I really like it.
well, if you continue going on, right, the lies are more entertaining. Truth is less profitable for us. Lucid, not gonna lose focus. Illusion, if you see him fall. In conclusion, can't you see he off this? So until he gets to the point where he's like, can't you see he's off this? I think everything he's saying in the first half of that verse, or more than the first half, is really just addressing like, yo, I've been here. I've been getting women to come and cross borders to fuck. I've been sipping lean. I was poor. I was this. Doesn't mean that like it's the life I want. It doesn't mean that.
And then
No, go on,
But
go on.
then it's like, yeah, and then he's kind of, moved past that. And I feel
Yeah.
like there's a lot of growth for Michi on this project. My favorite lyric, really, on this whole album is, "Destruction is a form of creation," says Donnie, because Donnie Darko.
Yep.
But I'm a different Darko, and this is a different story. So it's like, yeah, you can all have your nihilistic perception of whatever's, but I'm going to try and come through and show you that there's growth. There's other things in the table. It's kind of what I took from it. If you work hard, you get something out of it. And then
Hold
the
on,
hook's nice.
hold on. Hold on.
Oh.
Two things. I'm actually gonna be watching Donnie Darko today because Michi really wanted me. I read the Genius thing and I was like, he said something about destruction makes creation, right? And I was like, oh shit. It's so weird how like that, especially with what's going on right now, that it for me, it became like a really fucked up thing because Jake Gyllenhaal is like the main character and he's white and he's saying this, or he's like interpreting this understanding, especially with what's going on right now and how like the other side is completely doing all that. Like, I don't know. I was just really interested. So I'm going to be doing that today. But my other part is I like when he goes, been 7 years in the game. Nobody robbed me from my chain. Nobody disrespect the set. Nobody ever fucked my bitch. And I'm sitting there going, holy shit.
Yeah.
I've never heard
That's a good
anybody
bar.
actually disrespect Michi. I've never heard Michi have to complain about his girl not being loyal or like stuff in that. And that kind of brought me to a conclusion where he was like, not only is he going, yo, I have this much respect in the rap game because nobody wants to fuck with me or my girl. But at the same time, I also feel like he's praising his girl for being super loyal and super like.
I don't think it's fully literal. I think it's more, y'all have these drama in your life and y'all make these claims, but at the end of the day, everything you're saying is hyperbolic and not real. It doesn't happen the way you're putting it out per se, unless it's kind of fake and fabricated. And there is an argument to be made that a lot of these Instagram chain robbing fuck your bitch moments, like, come on, this one's girlfriend sucking that one's dick on Instagram live, 3 days later they're all back together and everyone's a lot richer. You're gonna tell me that, like, that isn't a little orchestrated?
Yeah, okay, I see that.
And I'm not saying that there isn't real versions of it that happen, but I'm saying a lot of people put out a lot of fake versions of it, and then it creates dumb real versions that put people in jail and shit. Anyway, I like how he's kind of saying, nah, this is a different wavelength, a different way of being. And then you get, cause when he goes into the chorus, hustle all my life, seen the light through the tunnel, and I might want to fuck with ya, who knows? But tonight is a must that we, let your hair go, and I'm that. And you feel like the sense that they worked really hard, and this is almost a celebration. And you know what? Maybe they dig you. Maybe they're just cool with you. Maybe not. But still, you should go for your shit.
Mm-hmm.
I like that chorus. It's like this whole song is like a step up from the last one, in my opinion.
I do agree. I like
Rex versus.
Go on.
Go ahead.
Okay. I like how Eric the Arc Airlight goes in the land of the weak. They know I'm playing for keeps. His soul is beside himself. Impressive. The letter E. The ricochet is the weak. When I hit with the way I will, but since I'm an ill homie, I'm not phased, boy, it's a shield. I like how, again, he's got this sense of like, I'm getting super personal with him, but I also kind of see that group of people that he may be speaking up for, and I'm like, all right, I kind of see how these people kind of move, and I like how he's kind of showing us his struggle, his pain that he dealt with to make him that stronger man, that shield that he carries. That was something that was really interesting to me. How you feel? Had to get my dough up. So what? Now I'm back in like I sobered up, rolling up. I like that.
Hold up. Pause. That's such a good bar because it's something I feel strongly about. A lot of people don't necessarily understand that like art is a business first. And if you don't have the money, you don't make the art. And then if you have to go do desperate things to make the money, because you're trying to do it fast or whatever, that's when bad things happen to you. So the fact that like it felt like he took the time to put his business in the order and to do what he had to do to make sure everything was in place so he could get back to making art from a position of strength is really admirable to me.
Fair enough. I like how he kind of also, for me, I kind of took it as, because now I'm back in it, like I sobered up, rolling up. It's like he's kind of expressing this need to be in a different state at all times, kind of like avoiding the sober life. So that was something
Mm.
that kind of stuck out to me. They all witnessed to the wise man, husband, and they wives, and had some salt with homies tried to one up like a Heisman. I just like how he says that. I don't really exactly know what he's saying, but I do like
Wasn't a
how he,
Heisman a trophy?
huh?
Wasn't a Heisman a trophy? I don't know. I just think it sounds fresh. Overall, I feel like what he's trying to do with the rest of his verse is
Yeah,
the same
it's the
kind of shit.
Heisman Trophy. Yep, annual award for
And
outstanding
then,
college football player.
I don't do this for TV. My track record is Oz. Then, I mean, it's fine. Never gave you permission, so I feel obliged in. You just feel like he's running through and he's winning. He's doing what he's got to do. He's trying to be different. He's trying to create some shit. I like the I'm a legend. These are credits, not just clout.
Yeah.
That line really popped out at me more than everything else because a lot of it just kind of feels like whatever. But it reminds me of the classic Kid Rock line that has inspired me throughout my whole life. They say I'm cocky, and I say what? It ain't bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up. Basically, Eric is saying that right there with I'm a legend. I know it's different. I'm a legend. These are credits, not clout. As in, I'm not trying to get you to appreciate me. I'm just stating the facts of the history.
Right.
So I really appreciate that these guys have been in the game long enough to have these accolades, to pull off what they pulled off, and you just feel like there's a sense of how to think coming in this track to achieve what they have achieved. They're not hoarding the knowledge, they're sharing the knowledge, and it's fresh as fuck to me. So 4.5 on 5.
Nice. I as well gave this song a 4.5 on 5 as well. I thought it was actually really, really cool. It really does kind of solidify the I Am Legend of the title. Really does prove
All right.
their greatness.
Fresh. Let's talk about Quicksand. I like this one a lot. I think it's a really cool introspective solo track for Michi. And so I kind of like the fact that you get the sense that everybody just made songs and they took what they had, the best thereof, and made this little project out of it. It is produced by Eric the Architect, so I guess that has that touch to it, and Lyndon J. But so, it has that more inclusiveness. So I like the fact that production is managed by the group. That's something that I think hip hop lost a lot of and is coming back more and more. Similar and cohesive production rather than just shopping beats. Anyway, this one's just beautiful. You have that little intro bit where it kind of has a pensive, like, we are the gods of creation. You need to remember you are one of God's creations. You're the most important God. You need to wake up. So there's this sense of, like, and if we think about the vibes, their older stuff was really, like, high and drugged out and wilding out kind of, right?
Right.
And so it almost feels like Michi's had this, like, moment of sobering up and having these epiphanies to try to reflect and achieve, like, a spiritual greatness inside of him. I mean, I would make that assumption hearing this project. I mean, you hear that and it's like the voice in his head talking to him before we get into him almost responding, and he's just like, don't pray for me, just press play for me, don't cry for me, just put one in the sky for me. Honestly, if you lie, you die to me. Don't pray for me. And he repeats it. So it's like he doesn't want to deal with the fake shit. He just wants people to run with him. He doesn't I feel like he almost doesn't want people to care, but he does want people to care, and there's like this conflict of emotion there. But don't lie to him. And like at the end of the day, the truth matters.
I kind of took it as like, it's not really about him. It's about more the music and the art of it. The fact that he's a god of creation, the fact that he puts out these messages and these, call it lessons or things that he wants to express. I feel like when he goes, don't pray for me, just play for me, just press play for me. I feel like he's saying, don't spotlight me as the artist, spotlight my art, really listen to what I'm saying. Because he's like, maybe he acknowledges he might not be perfect. He may not be this, but the art that he creates may be perfect. The art,
I guess I took a bit more of a 5%er view on the term God, that perspective of a black man in general. When you hear you're the most important God, that's more like how it framed me a little bit. Like you know where I'm coming from, but you're also probably right too. I feel like it's cool that there's different ways that this can be like
Because,
broken
like,
down.
if you think about it, don't cry for me, just put one in the sky for me. Don't you really do that when somebody dies? Like, he is a smoker. I mean, I would assume he's more of like a smoker than a drink. I have seen him drink, but he didn't say like
I
pour one
think
out or
it's
something. You
maybe
know what I mean?
like
Like,
it's maybe like commentating on the fact that there's a lot of people that only care like after you die or whatever, and people aren't authentic with you, and he just feels alone, and so their fake love isn't there. And you know, like if you're gonna go pray for him, what fucking good is that? What he needs you to do is just press play for him. You know, don't fucking cry for him. Go show love. Go advertise. Don't just lie to his face. You know, if that's the case, you're fucking useless.
well, because like,
You know,
don't lie to his face in terms of like, don't tell me you support and follow, but you're not
yeah.
pushing the message, you're not paying it forward.
Yeah,
I feel that.
like my problems is real, mama. My problems is real. I tried to run from my problems until I bloodied my heels. That's powerful. It shows he's had this point where he tried to escape, but he's now coming to terms with understanding he has to deal with the shit in his life, and just the humility of crying out to your mother as a grown man is strong.
Again,
I tried to run.
I kind of also feel like I think I have a lot of this.
This
Like,
might actually, because this is probably written quick. It might actually. I don't know how related it is to recent events.
Well-
It depends on when it was written.
well, like here the thing is that it's like, well, released on. Oh, that was yesterday.
That's when it was released.
Yeah, I know.
Because if you wrote it like in March, it's not the same thing as if you wrote it last week.
No, for
'Cause if you
sure.
wrote it last week, that's a very different, powerful message.
No, of course. But what I'm saying is like I kind of also feel like I'm
In case you were
relating to
wondering, I mean, I do think that in our minds, you can't read that right now and not think of Floyd.
this. Of course.
How could you not?
But yes,
Like it's just like that whole situation.
right.
But I also feel like, in a more personal to him sense, what I'm hearing here is a man who's hit rock bottom, trying to come to terms with the path forward. I swallow my courage, then I swallow my fears, and then I swallow every ounce left in the bottle that's near. It's at that rock bottom moment. I'm deep in my feels, my right hand on the wheel. I know they say drugs kill, but so do cops. Who cares? So in that line, again, in the general sense of the bigger picture, it's something that could have been written anytime. Had it been written in the last week, it does add an extra layer to it. But I think the point is, in a lot of these cases, like on the Run the Jewels album, he basically describes Mr. Floyd's murder, and that was written in November. So it's just powerful.
The part where
that
he whispers, "I can't breathe."
All of that was written in November. It was not actually about George Floyd. Killer Mike had that song ready way back in, almost that whole album.
Because
So
I bought
that's what
that
made
album
it-
like twice, and when every time I heard it, I was like, "Yo, this man really went back and like rewrote a verse to."
I don't think he did. He had that ready in November, which actually just makes it worse. Like the fact that it's prophetic because it's just so prevalent and frequent. So the fact that we can easily just take these lines and attribute them to a recent memory just to me shows how prevalent the problem really is. Because
Yep.
I bet people, I can't breathe has been a slogan for years. It's not a new one, you know? Anyway. Not just look, I'm not trying to belittle shit. I'm as frustrated as all of y'all are about this situation. Anyway, so I like the fact that it's like knowing that the cops are just gonna kill us with no consequences. Why the fuck should I value my life anymore? Which is an interesting perspective that I don't think a lot of people, especially of my skin color, think about.
Which is why
If the cops can just kill you for being black in a car, for driving in the wrong neighborhood, maybe you're going to think about risk differently if the lottery of life disproportionately says you're fucked.
Which is why I think part of this is where, like, again, when I'm sitting here and I don't live the same type of life these guys have lived, and I don't have like the same type of struggles, I listen to this going, you're not just talking about yourself, you're talking about everybody that looks like you who deals with this situation. That's kind of how I interpret me. Like,
so I think you're right in the sense that he wrote it well, and his experience is pretty general. But
yeah,
I really think this track is very personal to Michi.
I don't want to take that
and
away.
It just
that's not what I'm
happens
trying
to
to
be
do.
an experience that a lot of people can connect to.
Because like even if we skip to the second verse just for the point, like the sake of a point, I'm feeling the connection with my family drifting. Dude, Corona. I haven't seen my mother in like 2 months. I don't talk to her right now.
Look, I see what you're doing, but I think you're generalizing your experiences.
Yeah.
And I don't know that Michi was trying to write for everybody and their fucking brother here. I think
Um,
Michi was pouring his heart and soul out on this
I
one.
do agree. I
And
don't want to take that away from the track.
other people are able to come to this, and I think a lot of people are feeling their connection with their family drifting, so it's an apt universal emotion that a lot of people have, and I'm sure that Michi was aware that some of his feelings are felt by other people, but I think that's the point of art, is to tap into those authentic emotions. So what I'm hearing is Michi really did well in tapping into the humanity of his soul and put that out there into the world in such a way where we can connect to it and find ways to do it. Like, how will it be when I become a father of my own? That's a real thing. That's that lyrical shit that's missing in hip hop. The real life fucking problems of humanity and stuff. That's my opinion. I don't see it a lot in pop music. And you can argue Flatbush is more on the pop side than not, in my opinion. I would not put them as like, they're definitely underground, but they're definitely on the pop side, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But like, I just feel like there's strong lyrics. It's really about him questioning his family and hate and the role of everything. He doesn't understand how we're all going to move forward, and this is why he has these problems he wants to run away from. And I just think it's a beautiful song that uses his experiences to show that the rest of us, like, you're not alone in your confused imperfections.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I give it a 4.75. I thought it was a very meaningful and deep and powerful song.
I as well also gave this track a 4.6 on 5. I thought it was super deep as well. And just the way that this song really showed me the different talents that Michi has. Like, just the way that every section of this track kind of sounds different, was presented differently, had a different type of flair to it, was something that was really, really cool. And I just like the emotional roller coaster that I got from this. It was like, you really kind of, and I do agree, you really kind of get into his mind and really kind of feel that, like, oh shit, like, I feel you, Michi. I really, really I may never understand, but this is a clear enough picture for me to get, like, a little bit of an entryway into understanding, because I will never understand what he's been through entirely, but I can sit here and be like, oh shit, let me hear more, let me
I'm
understand
just
more.
gonna say that what you just said is true about literally everyone we're ever gonna review.
Yep.
You'll never understand what anyone else felt except for Chris.
4.6 on 5.
I mean, I understand the bigger point you're making. You can't understand what it grows up to live in those poverty-stricken conditions and to go through certain experiences. But to word it like I can't understand what he lived through, as I hear those words, I'm like, you can't understand what I lived through. And I like
Fair.
live in Montreal with you. We just had different backgrounds. Like, we don't even come from the same shit. Anyway, I agree with the sentiment of what you're saying. And then I like how at the end, ask the police what they did. Ask the police what they did. Just ask, did they try to kill? And that part, I think, is very deliberate. I think it's very pointed about the current situation. But I do not know when they wrote these verses. However, it is not impossible that this was written in the last week. Anyway, let's move on to Dirty Elevator Music. I'm fairly certain this one gets its name because the music of the track kind of sounds like a jazzed up, kind of slow, old-timey elevator music vibe. That's why I think it got the name. I'm going to be completely honest with y'all.
I think
But I like it. I like this beat
I
a
th-
lot. I think it's got a cool vibe. I just have to say, regardless of what I've said about the bars, the production on this album is stellar. And I could just throw on any one of these songs and just listen to them. They're versatile. They change track to track, but they also have a cohesiveness to them that lets this project play through as like one nice experience. And I think they play in an atmosphere that makes it really easy to listen to them, almost regardless of the kind of music you're into.
So for the first couple of times going through this song, I just kind of felt like this was a little bit braggadocious, just kind of like flexing and showing like how they're kind of good rappers or whatnot. And then we get to
Yeah.
and I'm gonna do this a little backwards, I'm sorry, but then we get to the outro, right? Kind of understanding this idea of see, I learned a new word today. This is Michi. I can't say the word triskaidekaphobia.
Triskaidekaphobia.
Right, an extreme superstition regarding the number 13. That's why a homie don't be having 13 floors on the. Hold on, most project buildings don't really get past 13th floor anyway, so it doesn't really matter what's popping. And then what's popping? You good? You good? You click the 13th floor for me. AO 13th floor. All right, 11th floor. So first off, there is no 13th floor, which means I kind of take it as the 13th would be the top, like they're at the ceiling. They've reached the limit. They've exceeded what it is because, and I take that going. Most project buildings don't really get past 13th floor anyway. So when you get to the 13th floor, I guess growing up and where they kind of seeing the buildings from where they live or whatnot, the 13th floor would be a metaphorical or a symbolic ceiling to their success or whatever it is. Also saying the line before, most that's why homie don't have 13 floors on the. I'm sitting here going on the. Because I never really heard like a 12, like I've heard 12-story mansion. I've heard 10-story this. I've never heard 13. Me personally, I've never heard 13-story this or 13-floor this for somebody individually. I do understand the superstition of the floor 13. So for me, I kind of feel like this is like some.
I mean, like, that it's just because for a while they would just skip floor 13. Like it would go from 12 to 14 in high rises. But what's interesting about that is there's no high rises in the hood. So that's why there's no floor 13, right? That's what I took from that. Like, I never had to think about that because there is no floor 13 where I come from. They don't build them that. I don't know if that's true. I don't think there's that many project housings that are like fucking skyrise height.
Right. Well, because the reason why I said that is because he goes AO 13th floor, all right, 11th floor. And if you think about it, if he believes that there is no 13th floor or whatnot, 11 would be the floor right before the final floor. So for me, I kind of take it also as like, look how we're almost.
Well,
like,
no,
we're almost.
12 would still be the floor before the final floor.
But there is no 13, so 12 is final. There is no 13. He doesn't believe in it.
So what I'm. Okay, I don't know. I didn't get it. I thought it was dumb. The last part.
I thought it was actually pretty cool in relation to.
Are you saying he's at floor 11 and then
think of it like a ladder going up in terms of success and being godlike.
Sure, I think that they've achieved a high level of success in where they're at.
And they're at floor 11. They haven't yet gotten to the final thing.
Okay. They're right before it. Fine. I like the song though. I like the attitude on it. I got the whole out of my hands now. Attitude, fuck it, like I'm caught with my pants down. You pussy, and I always been the dog. Most of the game are rookies. You know that we came to ball. None of it's that like original. It's all pretty fire though, in the way of the delivery, the way it's coming through. I don't know. The chorus is fine. I really like Michi though. I'm a bit of a sucker for his verse. I got an energy problem. No, I got an enemy problem. That's interesting. The fact is that the enemy's draining his energy, creating it. And then he's like, no, I got a Hennessy problem. Perhaps now the enemy's more inside of his mind. Paranoia is getting me, probably opposite of kamikaze poppy. Your shit never dropping. Stop it, tight body. Nothing sloppy, but her toppy zoppy. Gang, gang, gang.
Body rig.
The way he delivered it.
Casket shop and I'm putting.
But it's like the way he delivered it was fresh, right? It just had this braggadocious. Now, at this point, all we've heard from Michi is some conscious shit, so having a little bit of braggadocious is alright, And even then, he still kind of starts it off like, I'm trying to do my shit right, and y'all kind of a little overdrawn with it, is kind of what I took from that. We're out there doing our thing, y'all are not. It's just not good. He's designed a rhyme. The grimy moves is what I'm inclined to do. I'm sorry, silly rhymer. Your Highness don't need no kind of boost. Honestly, this feels real old school hip hoppy, real true to form and the competitive nature of fuck your rhymes, my rhymes is better.
Right.
Overall, I think it's pretty good. I think he has some strong shit up in it. I just really enjoyed listening to the verse. It's fucking great. I don't have a lot more to comment about what he's saying. Like, all I got is my balls, my word, my pride, or head fire, Ghost Rider. You get it? Because the head was fire, as in a blowjob, but also Ghost Rider has a flaming head. Y'all didn't need me to explain that, right?
Thank you for explaining it, though.
Chorus is fine again. Eric's second verse is Dirty as Jersey, no respect to Reggie the Noble. That's Redman. So I do love him giving props to somebody from his place that like the old timies. That's really dope. Repeatedly hitting your whip till it's been totaled. Please, lady, no photos. I'm hardly sober. My omens have me only told me to focus on every quote and expose every single soul with the motives of taking over this globe. So even there, like, yes, he's out there and he's fucked up and shit, but then the point is he brings back to a mission statement of trying to, fight the evils that be, doing the right things with his shit, to learn wisdom, to try to be smarter, to not be like the gimmicks, to not be like the bad people. He wants to be stronger. And overall, I like that tone of it. I know we've been going on for a minute, so I'm trying to go a little quicker through the track, but I like it. I think this song's it's dope. But the way they brag has a conscious layer to it, and I'm realizing that Eric and Michi have not elicited anything really coming from that end of. I feel like there's a real power and message of growth in both what both those men are bringing to the table on this project. So 4.5 on 5, great song.
I gave this song a 4.2 on 5. I thought it was cool. I thought it was like pretty interesting the way that they're just kind of, again, being kind of braggadocious and really just like showing you what they could do. But for me, it didn't have that much like actual, I guess, like real substance compared to what we've already gotten. It just kind of felt like one of these like hype songs we're blessed to kind of have and be dedicated to what we're dealing with. But I do like, again, it's interesting how like even with these type of songs, Michi still finds a way to be a little bit personal and kind of dark within his like, I still have struggles in this, but I'm happy from where I'm at to be and all this stuff. And then Eric kind of comes again with like this more conscious type of flow, but like he's still aware that he's got things to deal with too. So that was something that I did enjoy. So yeah, I gave it a 4.2 on 5.
All right, I think we can move on then to blessings. Can I just say that Zombie Juice's delivery is beautiful? Like his core verse is just so beautiful. I know I talk some shit about his bars, but his delivery is gorgeous, and I don't want to take that away from him at all. This song is just nice to listen to. I think it flows through. It's got like a softer tone to it. I like the words, man. Life is too short, too bad, and too wicked. Cherish today. It's too late for us to kick it. Where heaven sent me this angel, there's nothing I cannot handle. And then he like repeats it. So it's like kind of like this awareness that life is not permanent, that things can end, and this like you have challenges in your life that you can deal with them. But like you have to contemplate a little bit, how short life kind of is, and how you have to lose out on certain opportunities, because if you don't take advantage of today, you'll end up missing out on the opportunities that are actually in front of your face.
Right.
And then it'll turn into moments where they become missed opportunities. And then I don't know, his verse was nice. I don't think that the lyrics are my favorite. Like I feel like it's just he's at a place where I'm not as identifying with, but I feel like this is a lot stronger than what he's brought in the other tracks. So like Touch of Grey, who blessings disguised as lesson, the ripple effect, zombie the vessel that says slept on these words as my weapon, slept on like bro Papa Zanny, slept on the floor to a millie, seen snitch, seen him die, the game's fixed, so I gotta stay ahead of it. That's the best shit I heard him say on this project. I'm gonna be honest with you. Understanding that life's complicated and gray, that people didn't really pay attention to him. Well, I kind of get it. Bars in the other track were a little harder to pay attention to. Fine, I'm just being a shithead now. I am being a hater. You can call me that. But in general, he kind of has moved on, achieved the success, and seen the consequences of whatever. Rolls through the rest of the verse. I don't know if there's anything more I can say except that I love the shine like my sin, the melanin. Like he wants to be a powerful, force, a positive role model in a sense. And he just kind of hopes that people connect with his message, and it's fucking beautiful. And then it flows back into Eric's chorus, and it's just like, man, I really like this verse. I really like the way he sounds on it. I really like it a lot. I don't know if you agree, disagree with that.
I mean, my thing with this is that it seems like the song itself is very good, and I like the presentation of Zombie Juice. It's just it still kind of seems like a little bit just simple to me. Just kind of like a touch of gray, oh, blessings disguised as lessons, the ripple effects. It's like I'm listening to it, and if it wasn't presented the way it was, I don't think it would be as good to me. Personally.
But I think with his tone of voice and his soft-spoken nature, it really works.
I do agree. I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like the whole presentation of the verse is really dope. I like more Eric's verse. The streets told me if you hold the grip, make it look flashy. It's peace, homie. Only flip the script if you get antsy. And she told me, boy, you raised them stakes. Ain't no time for belly aches. You got some weight up on your plate. I like how I feel like he's addressing his mother. I feel like his mother's telling him you got to keep grinding. He's got to keep that support there. I like how he's addressing the streets in terms of like, if you hold the grip, make it look flashy. Like, make sure you're ready to actually fucking use it. Don't just be waving it around. Like, make it look flashy.
But if you think about it like more than a gun, think about it like the mic. Think about it like the voice and the power of what he has. And you take that whole verse and flip it into you have the power to make change, you know?
I see
So
that.
I see you on the stone in the sky as you play our songs. Nestled in our arms, we ain't worried about them loans. I ain't got no allowance. I did that on my own. I'm still trying to cope, and life is too short, and we just hail out us in the smoke. So I hear what he's saying there is we are independent. I'm assuming maybe he's independent. Keep in mind, pop and independent aren't the same thing. I know mainstream is more to independent, but pop is just what sounds popular, right? These guys are definitely in touch with what's popular these days. And I really just like it. I really like the way he's like, we own our shit. We don't have to deal with the label loans. That's what I'm assuming. Again, I don't know their state right now. And we don't have to deal with a lot of the shit that y'all have. It's not like we're just living off of what the label's giving us now. We can be who we need to be for it. I don't know. I liked it a lot. Give it a 4.5. Smooth track. Really nice.
I gave the song as well a 4 on 5 myself. Thought it was cool.
All right, there's one more that we're going to discuss, and then just like the name of this song, when I'm gone, you won't see us anymore. That was trash.
That was trash.
So this one features Sophie Faith, and I think she does a lot to add to the song. It's real nice. Why does what?
I felt like this song had more of a polishness to it. Like, it just sounded better mixed. It's
a fucking pop. It sounded like a pop single. It sounded like it was designed to be a mainstream pop single. That's what you're hearing. The clean glossiness, the way it's compressed in the specific way it's done. The rest of it kind of felt more airy. This one, I'm sure somebody was like, yo, you guys could maybe hit Billboard on that guy. Make sure it sounds a certain way. And that's what it feels like, a little bit.
The one that features, the one that has the feature, though.
But it's not just that. It's also the deep, like, I just want to die. I just want to cope. All I see is pain. I done lost hope. I just want to live. I just love the thrills. I just lost my mama. I don't got no father. Oh my gosh, don't you? Isn't your heart just fucking breaking right now? Aren't you feeling? It's like, and you're like, oh, my heart. It's hitting me and it feels so bad. I'm not hating. I actually gave this song. What did I give this song? I'm pretty sure I gave it a 5, honestly. I fucking love this shit. It's fucking candy. It is the equivalent of eating fucking candy, okay? Because it really... Whoops. For the recording, I was changing browsers and it did impact the video there. It's just so right in it, but it's so well done. This is the best shit Zombie Juice did on this album. This is a great song. It's just really fucking popping clean. I just want some justice. I just want some peace every day. Dying in the streets. Dying in the streets. All this fucking beef I don't even eat. Oof. It's like all that power is said there. It's like, it's kind of, this is showcasing the fucking street dramas, the situations that happen, people dying from cops and other. And the fact is, he's not even involved in it. He's not even getting to fucking eat the winnings of it. Wrong colors and we sworn enemies, just like the circumstances of it. And I feel like line for line, this just doesn't stop, man. Overdosing while my die, shots fired, why he gotta die. Sometimes it's hard, but you alive. It's like that challenge that if you're alive, you can do something to make change, and it doesn't have to keep perpetuating a cycle.
Yep.
So I definitely think that there's a lot of systemic issues that encourage violence in the hood. And I think that we as people need to acknowledge that there are systemic changes we can make to end that violence in the hood, and not blame the people and not go, well, look what, no, fuck that. Like, this is a real situation. The more you look at change, the more you realize that environment is a huge component of it. Regardless of the education we can give to people, regardless of the passionate motivation we can give to people, if we don't set up a situation where people can have the money and the resources they need to eat, to have the mental health treatment they need, to all the different things that people need, then we don't get that. And I love the fact that he goes, tired of beating up women, tired of women hating on men. Baby mama trying to control shit, play the victim, see the real switch. And I love how he's calling out all of these different social issues, right? All of them. What men do, what women do. He's just tired of the bullshit. that he sees going on around him and calling it out line after line. And I'm like, damn, it's so blunt. His anger is so prevalent in his voice. And I'm like, yo, this is the song that justifies the name of the fucking album, in
Which I
my
think
opinion.
speaks volumes to situations. When I say current situations, I don't mean the big thing that we're dealing with right now. I just mean the petty nonsense that we see on, like you said, the petty nonsense on social media, the petty this, the petty that. And it's like everybody, for me personally, I feel like people want to pick a side, and then they, point fingers and blame everything else. And Zombie Juice is just kind of here going like, yo, you might pick this side and blame this, but the side you're blaming is doing the exact same thing to you. Like, you're no better than he's just kind of bluntly showing that, like, we're all acting like this, but we're kind of all acting the same in our own bullshit way.
I think he's really just trying to showcase the complexity of all the different things that are happening that leads to a statement like, Black Lives Matter, or leads to the crisis of what's going on, or leads to the things he's witnessed that just add this stress and anxiety that culminate with him just wanting to die and cope. Everything here is the stress on his mind of his observations of his surroundings and his environment. On this track, all that shit you said on Herb, I feel.
Ah,
I didn't feel it on Herb. I really feel it in this song, right? Then you got that cheesy chorus that really fits and just gets me in the heartstrings, and it's like, okay, you got me. Sophie Faith, you doing it good. You just trying to get these motherfuckers a Grammy. Anyway, Eric's verse is pretty good too. This is bigger than some music, and I'm not going through it. Life ain't supposed to be this way. Desensitized from real decay. It flows on. I don't think it's like 1,000% worth going through every freaking bar on here. It's just Eric adds to it, but he doesn't necessarily. I definitely feel like in this case, Zombie stole that one. Really stole it. Eric's verse is alright, but it just flows in. It's nice. He adds on to it, gives more of his weight that he's been dealing with. And then Michi's verse kind of goes in with the same kind of tone too. Like, first off, I want to say R.I.P. to Mac Millie. We gonna smoke those flowers in your honor. Drowning, riding through the city. World's supposed to be mine, but these bitches like gimme, gimme, gimme. But before I let it burn, though, these are my confessions. And I thought it was really like cool to see how it's like the death of Mac Miller impacted him. And he's got him kind of looking around, trying to see it through. He sees the selfish nature of everyone around him. And then he kind of goes on with his feelings, love hard like my mother, but too much pride like my father. Don't think I'm strong enough to be a brother, way too fucked up to be a lover. And then he goes on to point out all the things about him that are bad, that his legacy, all the things he sees within himself. He wishes he was drama proof. Why waste wishes on something so comical? Like, the idea of him escaping the circumstances that he puts himself in is ridiculous. Like, he doesn't believe he can change. He doesn't believe he can fly without losing his flock. Will I die before making my mark? And just questioning all of this shit. And then you gave me a hug, stabbed through my back, punctured my heart. At the end, having these friends that basically like fucking betray you on that, leaving you in this place, it just feels really, really powerful. I'm left with this whole song, the sense of really powerful, and the way that they look at legacy, from how quick and easy death comes to trying to do the right thing, to what about all these bad things within my soul, regardless of the good things that are left? What are they going to talk about? What is going to be said? And I think it's a really cool song. I give it a 5 on 5, like I said.
so I gave this song overall a 4.7 on 5. The heavy poppy feel to me kind of just threw me off a little bit, but the entirety of the song, just the way that they're, again, kind of bringing you this type of understanding and just the raw, honest truth of how they're feeling with certain situations, and kind of seeing, like we keep saying, the bullshit and the dramas and just the things that I think the point of this song is to really bring light to look at what we pay attention to and look at what needs to be paid attention to. And in a certain way, Juice kind of acknowledges that with like, I'm tired of all this petty, fake fucking bullshit. And then Eric as well kind of reinforces that idea, but also leads that transition from this is the fake, petty type of bullshit we deal with. And then let's kind of bring it back to a narrative of what's important. And then I find Michi kind of with doing his personal thing and really showing his struggle and kind of how it is. He's also explaining like, yo, this is kind of what we really should be focusing on, is like unity and loyalty and really trying to work together. And like, why do we feel alone and rejected? And why do we do these things? Like, all these things. And what I really like about it is, especially in hip hop, growing up, I never saw too many people really be like, "Oh, let's talk about our feelings," and and then now it's like you're getting more of these like, "Yo, fuck the fact that we're hard. Fuck the fact that this like we need to tap into these bags, these emotions, these pockets of like rawness for everybody. Like y'all need to understand that even though, like we said, we got money, we're doing this, we're doing that, we still feel the pain of you guys. We still try to connect with the poor, the less, the whatever, however you want to look at it, the fans, the randos, however you want to look at it. I feel like this is what this is really trying to say, and that's what I got from that. So 4.7 on 5.
Fair enough. That's it. That's the end of this little EP, this little project, right on the cusp of it's a little EP. I liked it a lot. I gave it a 4.6. I don't think that counts for shit because EPs are not albums. So had it been 8 more songs, would I have felt the same? I don't know. We can't tell unless this turns out to be like a chunk of a bigger project, and then I can tell you what I think.
22
But
tracks, deluxe version.
Yo, I saw, what is it? Lil B may have put out a mixtape with 600 songs on it. I don't know if that's true, but knowing it's Lil B, it's possible. Anyway, I like this album. I think it shows some emotional growth and maturity. It sounds like they've moved past the drugly kind of fucked up orgy music and are transitioning into a social conscious thought leader vibe, and I really like that. I think the talent is there. I think the way they use melodies is stellar. I think when you listen to these tracks back to back to back, it never gets boring. They change it up and keep it fresh, and I think it's a good project, and it makes me excited. Like, this was a good week for music releases.
Question: do we trust Pitchfork as a news source?
Why?
Because according to
I would call them a news source.
Well, according to Pitchfork, Lil B releases 855 song mixtape.
So yes, I would trust Pitchfork for that purpose. Yes.
Got 5 gigabytes and several days of free time to spare. Lil B has just the thing for you: an 855 track bass freestyle mixtape available for download. Its title says it has 848 tracks, but it actually has 855. It is okay. This is no point, but you get the point. It's true, apparently.
So Bass God, that's what's up. I don't know. He hearted one of my tweets. He's a cool guy.
Yes, he is.
And end of the day, I really like this project and I'd recommend it. I hope you liked it, Miles B.
I like the project too. I gave this album a 4.45 on 5. I think it's pretty solid. I was actually really happy I got to review it with you. Honestly, like, I don't know. I think if we didn't do it like this, I was gonna do my own personal review because I was really, really interested in talking about it. The album cover really just speaks volumes. The way it looks, the way that they turned it into a poster speaks volumes. Everything about this group is very creative. We have, I guess, our differences on certain artistic things, but I think that those differences and the way that Juice comes in on a certain type of flair, Eric comes in, and Michi comes in on certain types of flares, I feel like overall those are what really make Flatbush Zombies. It's kind of like you look at Herb, and it's like, Juice didn't really do that well. We could say maybe yes or no, but then we look at the other track, and it seems like it's like strategical a little bit. Like, yo, this is what you need to do.
I don't agree with you at all. You're reaching, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
This is all fucking reaching. I don't know. You don't even know what your point is. All I was saying is that had some generic ass shit. That was my point. Nothing you're saying makes those bars less generic.
Fair enough. I'm tired. It's done now.
Generic and strategic aren't words we put together. There's no strategy to being generic except to make cash money.
4.45 on 5.
Anyway, thank y'all for watching. It's been a pleasure. I need coffee. I've been yawning for like an hour. I hope y'all noticed. I mean, not noticed. Whatever. I'm tired. It's early for us to actually be recording a podcast, all things considered. Like, we started this like way earlier in the day than normal. But we appreciate your comments. Look forward to seeing what you're going to end up saying about it. Looking forward to interacting with you. Like the video if you did. subscribe to the channel for more reviews. And special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Jonathan Bards, DJ Black Hurricane, Lindo Williams, Scribble, and Carl. They're dope. Support what we do. They can tell us what albums to review. And if you want to support the channel, check that out. We'll be doing a little revamp soon. And I make music. Chris makes music. You can check that out on this channel. That would be real fresh if you let us know what y'all think. And on that note, everybody, well, live long and prosper, everyone. That's what's up. That's every fucking episode, Chris. You should watch them sometimes.
Goodbye.
Bye, Chris.